Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, October 15th, and everybody should have the following things on their desk already. Please take out your planner, your notebook, and your SSR book. I'll give you about 20 seconds to get there. Make sure that you put in your planner today, again, just what we did yesterday, a reminder for yourself. Today we have a guest teacher. Write this sentence down. I will be kind and respectful. Thank you. Also, again, a reminder that Thursday we go to the library. Some of you have a book that you're really into right now, but it's not going to last long, so check out that next book and we'll be ready to go when you finish the book you're reading. Today we're going to have SSR, as I told you, every single day. We're going to start with reading. So 15 minutes, I expect you to finish at least 11 pages. More if possible, but at least 11. If you haven't read 11 pages during those 15 minutes, you need to read at home until you finish at least 11 pages. And you're going to work on your zombie handouts today. So if you don't have those out with your notebook, go ahead and take those out right now. Also, just as yesterday, our guest teacher doesn't know who's been to the restroom how many times, so our guest teacher is not going to be issuing any restroom passes, so don't ask. And also, just like yesterday, if you receive a complaint today, you're going to receive 2 days of detention. If you received a complaint yesterday and today, I'll be talking to your parents. All right, so first, you can close your planner, close your notebooks, pens and pencils down. All you have right now is your SSR book. You have 15 minutes to read. Just like yesterday, just like always, if you did not bring a book, the guest teacher is going to get you something to read and going to report to me that you did not come prepared. You're going to be assigned to detention the third time you don't come prepared to class. Some of you may already have 1 or 2 strikes, so make sure that you're bringing your book with you every single day. So the guest teacher is going to pause this and give you 15 minutes for SSR time. There should be no talking, only reading. Everybody's got their books out, pens and pencils down, and you may begin reading now. All right, we're done with SSR. We're not going to write anything about it today because we're going to continue with the reading and writing exercise. So everybody needs their article, When Sleep Becomes a Nightmare. Get that out. Give yourself about 30 seconds to get ready. You're going to need a pen or pencil, your article, and if you have one, you can use a highlighter. As we read this article together, you're going to mark the text. So the first thing you're going to do is number the paragraphs. And then as you're reading, if some part is confusing, you know what to do. You're going to put a question mark next to it. If you thought something was really interesting or you didn't know that before, put an exclamation point next to it in the margin. And if there's a part that you read and you really connect to, you're like, I know, right? That happens to me all the time. Mark that with a star. So let's, first of all, number the paragraphs. On the first page, Starting with in 1964, we have paragraph 1, market. Following down, you have where the words start, you probably, paragraph 2. Next page, the paragraph 3 starts, you know the effects. Paragraph 3, market, please. Next column, paragraph 4, sleep deprivation. Next paragraph, paragraph 5, unfortunately getting more. Paragraph 6 starts, to understand. Paragraph 7 starts, a second mechanism. Next column, paragraph 8 starts, today's teenagers. And the last page, you go all the way over to the last paragraph, or the last column, and mark paragraph 9. It's quite damaging. And finally, paragraph 10, so follow the activities. All right, we've got our paragraphs marked. We're going to go back to the first page, and we're going to read together. When Sleep Becomes a Nightmare by Matthew Hudson. Are you stumbling around like a Z's-deprived zombie? Wake up to the importance of getting enough shut-eye. In 1964, a teenager in San Diego named Randy Gardner hatched an idea for a science fair project. He would see how long he could stay up. By the end of the experiment, 264 hours later, that's 11 days, he had set a new world record which still stands. But along the way, he was not quite himself. Gardner became moody, forgetful, and paranoid. At one point, he mistook a street sign for a person, and on day 4, he thought he was a running back for the San Diego Chargers. You probably don't have any immediate plans to stay up 11 days straight, but if you're like most teens, you'll pull the occasional all-nighter to cram for a test, and even on a good night, you'll probably stay up too late. Teenagers actually need more sleep than adults, about 9 hours worth, but a recent survey found that as few as 14% of them get 9 or more hours on weeknights. Twice as many get 7 hours or less. And this sleep deficit can drag down your mental and physical health, perhaps permanently. You know the effects of one crummy night's sleep. You feel groggy, forgetful, clumsy. 24 hours without sleep actually leaves you as brain dead as if you were legally drunk. The body uses sleep to re-energize many of its cells, and the brain uses it to enhance memories and solve problems. Studies show that you're more likely to remember something later if you get some Z's after learning it. Sleep can make you smarter and more creative over the long term. Lack of sleep in teenagers has been shown to put them at a higher risk for depression, anxiety, drug use, bad grades, and low self-esteem. Sleep deprivation may also cause permanent cellular damage and even death of neurons in the brain. And adolescence is a terrible time to put added stress on the brain because it's changing rapidly, creating new pathways and pruning old ones. According to David K. Randall, a reporter and author of Dreamland Adventures in a Strange Science of Sleep, sleep is a third of your life that typically gets shortchanged. You don't really focus on it, and adolescents need sleep so much more because their bodies are changing. Off schedule. Unfortunately, getting more sleep is an uphill battle for teens. It's like your body and the world is working against you. To understand sleep patterns, you first need to understand the circadian rhythm. This internal clock tells your body when it's time to be awake and when it's time to sleep. Your brain does this by releasing a hormone called melatonin, which makes you drowsy. But in puberty, your clock shifts and you feel like sleeping and waking 1 to 3 hours later than usual, even though school still starts at the same time. A second mechanism tells us it's time to go to bed. Several biochemicals, including one called adenosine, build up in the brain the longer you're awake. The more of these biochemicals your brain collects, the more tired you get. In teens, this buildup happens more slowly than in adults, so you're better able, and more likely, to stay up late. Up all night. Today's teenagers also have to contend with technological temptations that earlier generations didn't have to face. In one study of 100 adolescents near Philadelphia, the teens did an average of 4 different tech-related activities after 9 p.m., including going online, watching TV, playing video games, and using their cell phones. The more tech they used, the harder it was to fall asleep, and the less sleep they got, the sleepier they were at school. One reason tech use inhibits sleep is that light, particularly the blue wave light that many gadgets produce, tells the body that it's still daytime, preventing the release of melatonin. Playing video games or socializing online also gets the mind revved up and prevents you from settling down. Mary Carskadon, a professor of psychiatry and human behavior at Brown University and a sleep expert, has called the combination of factors that affect sleep in teenagers circadian rhythm decay, reduced sleep pressure, electronic use, increased academic pressure, early school times, and the freedom to set their own bedtime, a perfect storm for sleep deficit. And it's quite damaging storm. Sleep deprivation may not actually kill you, but it has been known to kill other animals. Consider this: flies and rats die sooner without sleep than they do without food. So follow the advice to the right for better sleep and dodge that perfect storm before you find yourself talking to stop signs. All right, so we've read the story, and hopefully you marked some question marks, exclamations, and stars. But we haven't read the whole article. There were a lot of things to look at, so let's go back. So did you now notice the things in the picture that they were just talking about? The TVs, and on the TVs, it looks like a video game to me, and all that blue light surrounding him. Yep. Next page, we have a picture of some teens with their school books there at school, but look at this guy. He's practically falling asleep. Let's read what it says here. Cutting-edge companies like Google have introduced high-tech nap pods in the office to keep sleepy employees awake. But you don't have to be a computer whiz to benefit from some extra shut-eye. Researchers have found that short 20 to 30-minute nap during the day can improve your working memory and alertness without messing with your regular sleep schedule. Oh, I like that. A nap in the day. Now, it's going to be really hard to get a nap at school. Don't be trying to sleep in my class. But if you nap when you get home right before you do your homework, that might be a good idea. All right, let's take a look here at the history and future of sleep. Before the 19th century, it says, sleeping through the night wasn't always the norm. For most of recorded history, humans would go to bed soon after sundown, wake up around midnight, reflect or socialize for an hour, and then go back to sleep. Why do you think they would go to bed right after sundown? right? No light bulbs. But then in 1879, Thomas Edison invents the first practical light bulb, and society's sleep habits totally change. Instead of going to bed when it's dark and waking when it's light, people can work or hang out with their friends well into the night. So Thomas Edison was also very famous for being a person who never slept 8 hours. He would just work until he got tired and take a nap, get up and work some more and take a nap. So he was definitely a napper. And then in 1962, a 7-Eleven in Texas stays open past 11 to serve college football crowd and becomes the first 24-hour franchise. Other stores follow suit, meaning you can now get your Slurpee fix any time of day. So 7-Eleven used to mean they opened at 7 in the morning, they closed at 11 at night. But with people's sleep habits changing, now they and many other stores stay open 24 hours. All right, 2016. Most new homes constructed in the U.S. will have separate master bedrooms by the year 2016. No, romance isn't dead. People just sleep better when they're alone. So a lot of houses now are being built with 2 master bedrooms so that the adults in the house don't sleep the same way. They get their own bedroom. And 2020. Good sleep is crucial for good decisions in battle, so the military is testing devices that monitor sleep by detecting movement. They'll be standard for soldiers by 2020. The military is betting there will be far fewer deaths. Wow. Interesting. And finally, let's see, we've got our dolphin here. You're not dreaming. 5 freaky sleep facts. Half of this dolphin is enjoying a good snooze. That's weird. Let's see. People are active while they're asleep. Sometimes the brain enters a stage between waking and sleeping, and the body can move around without the user's awareness. Millions of people sleepwalk, and some sleep eat and sleep fight and even sleep drive. Oh, that would be really dangerous. Sleep can cause paralysis. Occasionally, the reverse occurs. The body remains relaxed and immobile, but the mind is fully awake. People occasionally interpret this terrifying state as sleep paralysis as an alien abduction. Dolphins never totally rest. A dolphin can go weeks at a time without snoozing by putting half of its brain to sleep while the other half is active. If they didn't remain alert most of the time, they'd be easy shark food. Oh, that's awful. Even flowers sleep. Plants have circadian rhythms too. They open their leaves up to the sun once a day, even in complete darkness. And the blind can see. People who become blind after the age of 7 return to a colorful world after bedtime. They can see in their dreams. Interesting. And finally, how do you get better sleep? Let's look at this last section. Getting Z's. Do. Oh, wow, look at these different pictures. If this one over here is your bed, you might need to clean it. All right, let's take a look. Do. Get all the technology out of your bedroom, says Karskadon, or at least stop using it well before bedtime. Bright screens prevent the release of melatonin, and activity gets you all worked up. So if your bedtime is 9:30, maybe turn off the TV and get off Facebook and go put your phone down by 8:30 so your body can start getting itself wound down for sleep. Try to avoid bright lights right before bed. And when you wake up, get a big dose of sunshine. Morning light will help set your circadian rhythm, and tell your body it's time to be awake. It can even prevent insomnia later when it's time to go to bed. Create a pre-sleep ritual that helps you wind down at the end of the day. Take your shower at the same time. Give yourself 10 minutes of reading before bed. That'll help settle you in and relax you and get better sleep. And finally, use your bed only for sleeping. If you also use it for reading or talking or working, tucking in won't act as a trigger for sleep. So don't watch TV or don't take your computer, your laptop to bed. Your body should know when it goes to bed, it is sleepy time. All right, what should you not do? Don't go to sleep at different times every night. The more of a schedule you keep, the higher your sleep quality. So if you go to bed at 9:30, always 9:30. Don't mess up your schedule. It confuses your body. Think about how you're not sleeping and how tired you'll be the next day and how anxious you are. If you can't get to sleep, focus on your breathing. On each breath, think inhale, exhale. It will relax you so that you can hit the hay in peace. So don't sit there and go, oh my gosh, I'm not asleep. I should be asleep. I'm going to be so tired tomorrow, because that'll just stress you out. And then of course you won't be able to sleep. Don't drink any caffeine for 6 to 8 hours before bed. It lasts in your body long after the initial buzz wears off. So after lunchtime, no more caffeine. And don't ignore the signals you're getting from your body. If it takes 5 alarms to get you up in the morning, or if you're falling asleep in class, you're not getting enough quality sleep. Go to bed earlier and make sure to follow other sleep tips. Yeah, in fact, you shouldn't even need an alarm to wake you up. If you're getting enough sleep, you should probably be waking up about 3 to 5 minutes before your alarm if you have a good routine. Okay, so you've read, you've marked your text, and now we have our questions. This page has our multiple choice and 2 short answer questions. You're going to have about 4 minutes to work on this, and you can talk at your table to answer the questions. Next to each question, I want you to put either a check mark, meaning, yeah, I already knew that, or an exclamation point for, wow, that was new. I did not know that. I just learned it. And then your questions here at the end, probably take 1 sentence to answer, maybe 2, but these are short. These are not like paragraphs or anything. So the guest teacher is going to pause this presentation. You're going to get 4 minutes to talk at your table and answer the questions, and then we're going to move on to the next piece. All right. Our next page in our handout is just for you. You don't need to discuss these with your neighbors. These are a little bit longer answers. Each of these is almost a short paragraph. It's 3 to 4 complete sentences. You should have time to finish before the bell. If you finish your work before the bell, turn in your packet to our guest teacher and then get your SSR book. You shouldn't be talking. Other people are writing and they need the time to think and to do the best job they can do. I will see you tomorrow, and I'll answer any questions over the sleep article that you might have then. All right, you guys have a great day. Complete sentences. Start with a capital, end with a period. 4 of those for each. If you need more space, get a lined piece of paper. All right. You've got probably about 7 minutes to go on this.